Oh, he believes a lot of wild things. One of them is transgender surgery for people who are under 13.
So for those out there who are wondering, aren't there something else you could be doing, or does it seem to impact you in your life? This is what it means to show empathy. This is what it means to be welcoming.
He changed the Minnesota state flag to make it look like a Somali flag. You ever seen that?
But our current flag is problematic. I think we all know that. We've evolved into a more diverse state. And
Joe Rogan's reaction changed the second he noticed something off about Tim Walz. Suddenly Walz stopped feeling like just another politician and started coming across like a bundle of surprises. On the move, the usual seriousness of politics disappeared, replaced by Rogan's mix of disbelief and criticism. What played out felt less like a structured discussion and more like raw, unscripted entertainment, chaotic, unpredictable, and impossible to look away from.
Walz's descriptions of his military, because there's some issues there.
Yeah.
That people have. I don't know if he flat out ever said that he served in Afghanistan, but he certainly didn't dissuade people from saying that he was. When they were saying he didn't correct them.
Right.
There was things.
Before we dive in, hit subscribe. It actually helps, and it comes with real perks. Over the years, Rogan's heard it all: wild theories about UFOs, bold claims about health breakthroughs, you name it. And yet, Tim Walz still managed to catch him off guard. Here's a politician who somehow makes Minnesota politics feel shaky and unpredictable. Almost immediately, the discussion stopped feeling like serious leadership talk and started turning into a comedy of errors.
If that guy got into power, like if Kamala died and Jim Walz, Tampon Tim, was our president, you know how crazy this country would be? That weirdo puts tampons in the boys' room, and what about our Joy? Like he's a complete pathological liar, like a complete liar. Lied about being in Tiananmen Square, lied about being a
Rogan leaned in, expecting a sharp strategist. There wasn't one. Instead, all he saw was confusion on repeat. Walz was always moving, always busy, but nothing concrete ever came of it. Lots of effort, constant activity, but real progress nowhere in sight.
So, talking again.
You say you could fight any Trump supporter?
Yeah, he says he kicked their ass, and they're scared of him. Fix a truck. They're threatened by his masculinity. I know how to fix a truck. So he said, like, do you? I bet you don't.
The lady doth protest.
I bet you don't.
I fear.
I bet if I bring a broken truck to you and a bag of tools.
That was kind of the redress, right? That was the attempt. It was like,
yeah,
the symbol of masculinity.
What really threw Rogan was how unbothered Walz seemed. No embarrassment, no hesitation. He spoke like he had all the answers. Yet Rogan calmly exposed how weak those claims really were. There was no name-calling, no shouting, just pure astonishment, delivered matter-of-factly, and the unspoken question lingered. How did it even get this far?
False. Doing the exact same thing.
Right.
Exact same thing, and he said, of course, it's a Nazi salute. He said that.
Right. We spent 3 days debating, having them trying to debate that President Musk gave a Nazi salute. Of course he did. But that is a distraction.
This is how crazy things have gotten. Like,
what made it even more surprising, Walz showed zero embarrassment. He spoke confidently, insisting he had every solution. But Rogan quietly revealed how fragile those claims were. No insults, no harsh words. Just disbelief. Clear, direct, leaving one simple question hanging in the air. How did it end up like this?
And there's no pushback. There's no like, excuse me, I didn't go to Iraq, right?
Exactly.
And I retired, as my unit was deploying. And so
we were retired a couple months before.
Right? Yes, but those guys know they know that they're going, right? It's not like they suddenly get a paper, on one day. There's a build up to that, and they're aware of it. And so, even his personnel were saying, we all knew we were going. He knew he was.
Walz trying to act like a top political figure just made it funnier. He carries himself like an authority, even though most people wouldn't recognize his name. Rogan looked closer, and no clear plan ever showed up. What keeps it all together? Confidence hiding uncertainty on the surface. Walz seems friendly and approachable, but dig deeper, and that polished image falls apart fast, and even with weak results, he talks about leadership like he's nailed it.
Tim Walz.
I know I'm doing something right when the Fox News crowd is all looking at me like crazy, like, fuck.
That guy was almost the vice president of the United States.
Elon Musk was crying last week. Tim is being mean to me, basically, you know, like, yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that thing where it shows Obama saying, I need a vice president that's dumber than me.
He may or may not have cognitive decline problems at his age, but at her age, she's just dumb.
Rogan compared Walz to someone stuck in the past, loudly boasting about big ideas according to Joe. Walz acts like he's shaping history, but it mostly comes across as unfocused chatter. Minnesota, Rogan says, is full of awkward moments, yet Walz treats it like the epicenter of a political wave. In the end, he's less a serious leader and more the star of an endless blooper reel moments that were supposed to matter end up unintentionally funny.
Probably a real person. He might not be Tim Walz. Trump is stage.
Nice, slaps her.
I mean, usually.
Definitely. This is all 100% real, Jamie. You're a plant.
Jamie's compromised on top of it.
Riley Moore fell for an AI-generated video of Minnesota government. I fell for it too. And do you know why I fell for it?
Yeah.
Because I believe that he's...
Rogan was taken aback by Walz refusing to take responsibility, mistakes, they don't exist in his version of events. Rogan pushed back, pointing out that while Walz talks a lot, very little actually comes through his long explanations feel vague, doing more to confuse than clarify. To Rogan, it's all hollow reassurance, lots of words, zero substance.
We're talking about cracking down on hate speech online. Like, that free speech is not hate speech. That Tim Walz guy was actually saying it.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracies.
Walz tried to come off as friendly, but Rogan wasn't buying it. His casual vibe felt staged like a script from a PR team. He frames failures like they're milestones in a success story. Even when nothing goes right, every public appearance adds another awkward moment, turning what should be serious leadership into unplanned comedy.
Video of him taking down the Minnesota flag and he replaced it with the new flag. It looks a lot like the Somali flag. Minnesota's a huge population of Somalis. All right, ready? So he gets the flag, picks it up, and replaces it. There, that's better.
The biggest irony, Walz genuinely thinks he's excelling. Even when critics call out big mistakes, he treats them like wins. Rogan joked that Walz cares more about chasing trends than producing results. Polished words replace real action. Problems get skirted instead of solved. And criticism doesn't slow him down, it makes him even more confident. Watching him under pressure is almost predictable. He's determined to make the wrong move. And yet somehow it's impossible to look away.
For Kamala saying, I need a vice president dumber than me, it's bad to have tampons.
We have a lot of accomplishments. We haven't taken adequate credit for it, frankly. We got to do a better job of getting the word out about what we have accomplished and who did it.
You got to lose, because we got to break this cycle.
Timing made it even more striking. When people were demanding honesty, Walz delivered almost the opposite viewers saw: staged charm mixed with awkwardness, with little real authenticity. Rogan doesn't think he's malicious, just out of touch he positions himself as the hero of a serious political story, but the public sees comic relief. Rogan didn't mock him, he just highlighted the pattern. Long speeches, no results. Confidence, but nothing behind it. Bad timing, repeated mistakes. Minnesota expected leadership, but Rogan revealed a walking blooper reel. Once people noticed, they couldn't look away.
Logical liar.
To be honest, there are outsiders coming into communities, stealing and moving jobs away, and making life harder for people living. And they have names: Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
Complete lie. Lied about being in Tiananmen Square. Lied about being a head coach of a football team.
Because this started, I love the story. It's a young prostitute, Kamala Harris, background, going in that courtroom for the first time.
Pathological liars. People that are habitual liars. They just lie all the time about everything. Oh, you didn't deploy for war. You didn't. Why are you saying you deployed at war? The weapons you used in war? No. You were in war.
I plan on waking up on November.
By the end, it was clear this wasn't bad luck, or one awkward moment. A pattern kept showing up. Every time Walz tried to act serious, it fell apart into another cringeworthy episode. The longer he spoke, the more the same mistakes repeated, and he treated them as proof of success. Rogan didn't need secret info, he just let Walz talk and act naturally. The result, accidental comedy, not scandal. Walz stayed confident because he genuinely thought he was winning, while everyone else just stared in disbelief. When Rogan held up the mirror, the illusion shattered completely.